Is this any surprise though, really? I've said it once, I'll say it again. Out of all the production companies that are really going strong in the mainstream, in this reporter's humble opinion, Blumhouse, is the definition of hit or miss.
Why aren't you saying anything? Ronan, you're dead. Marco.
And today we have Night Swim, or just Night Swim, I guess makes it sound a bit better. Technically, if we're talking chronologically, I've already done my first review of 2024 for our 2024 film, technically speaking. So, but in terms of what comes out first, this technically came out before Founders Day, so this is kind of the first main release that I've reviewed for 2024. Regardless, here we are, the newest Blumhouse film. There's a few of these in the pipeline for this year, and I've been seeing the trailers pop up more and more. Night Swim is directed by currently named Bryce McGuire. As I was going through his IMDb, I believe he referred to himself as technically like a little bit of a different name in the past, but now that's the name he's currently going by. He's a writer-director, and aside from some short films, like just short films that he's done in general, this is his directorial debut, like his first full-length feature film. But in that note, fun little fact, similar to the sorry, I almost vomited a little bit. Similar to Skinamarink, and that director, how that guy made a short film about what the concept of Skinamarink is, then made it into a movie. Same director for Night Swim made a 3.5 minute short film that I did watch before this review, and then from that concept developed it and got it picked up by Blumhouse into a full-length feature. So it is cool to see those kinds of stories where, if I recall, Lights Out was like that a lot too. There was an old short film that was frankly terrifying called Lights Out that I thought was pretty creepy and was eventually adapted into a movie that I never ended up seeing. But the stories of indie filmmakers making a short concept for a film and having it be picked up, I do love those little success stories there. It's creative projects getting more backing and all that. Granted, the overall artistic vision is often altered and the integrity is compromised in the process, but I mean, you gotta break some eggs to make that old omelet, right? In terms of the cast, I actually got a couple of heavy hitters in this. The kids and ancillary characters in this I don't know too well, but our main stars, I guess it's the wife and the husband, and although the husband is kind of really the crux of the narrative, we focus a lot more on the wife and her and trying to protect her and her family. But anyway, the husband is Wyatt Russell. Funny enough, I don't think people realize this. It took me a long time myself to realize this, but Wyatt Russell is the son of famous Hollywood actor Kurt Russell. And it's cool to see and to keep it in the family, and you actually have good actors and all that. If you were to know Wyatt from anything, it'd be his role, I believe, in Falcon and the Winter Soldier as John Walker, hashtag not my Captain America. But also, I think the first thing that I saw him in technically was his role in Overlord, which I've talked about that a couple times on the channel. I would recommend Overlord, as long as you're not squeamish. It's very bloody and gory, but it's a fun time. And then funny enough, Carrie Condon plays his wife in this film. The last film that I covered that she's in, I don't think I mentioned her by name, but she is in the Banshees of Inisherin, and her role in that's great. She also had a role in Better Call Saul as well. And then fun little fact, she's the voice of Friday, I think, which is the AI, if I recall, in the Marvel film. So that's neat. But Night Swim is all right. It's fine. It's fine. It's not good. It's not bad. I'd say it's below average overall, but bad, it's exactly what you'd expect. What's funny is there are literally several Blumhouse films coming out right now. There are a couple that came out last year, and this one and another one that's coming out later this year, like Imaginary Friend, for example. I saw that between the trailer for Night Swim and the trailer for Imaginary Friend, I kept getting them mixed up because they almost have the exact same premise of family moves into a new suburb and a home. Well, when they get there, there's some type of war, some creepy going on, and starts happening in the family, and you gotta dig in and figure out, and you might end up in a weird different spiritual realm, and there's some creepy nightmarish figures involved, and you gotta try to save the kids and the hubby or whatever. It's like a Mad Libs, really. Like, Blumhouse is making a lot of like films like this, and granted, a lot of horror films conceptually are kind of like this. Even the Boogeyman, when I reviewed that last year, it's just a rinse and repeat formula, really. Blank family moves into new blank, or experiences blank and has to blank to blank. It's just this is formulaic as all hell. I mean, honestly, positives. Direction is fine. There are some creepy moments. I've never lived in a place with a pool aside from like apartment complexes, and those pools close before the sun goes down. So I've never really partaken in night swimming. Been on like Lake Michigan when the sun starts going down and fireworks are happening. That's terrifying. I don't like, not that I have thalassophobia or anything like that, but in terms of like, I don't mind large open bodies of water. That's fine. But when it gets, maybe this is thalassophobia, but like, if I can't see in the water, I'm not 100% jiving with the idea of hopping in. Like, I will, and I'm sure it'll be okay, but it's murky, and especially if it's shallow and your feet are, you don't know what your feet are touching, like just slimy, mossy logs, and who knows if a gator is just swimming by, and just, I'm not going anywhere near the Amazon rainforest. Clear crystal pool, give me even like ocean water, anything that's vaguely visible. Let me go to a place that has nice, clear, whatever. As long as I can see to a certain extent, I'll be fine. Swimming pools, like, I don't know, I've just never been in a pool at night, but I guess it is kind of creepy, especially if you're alone. So I mean, overall, it's like, I can't tell if they're getting creative or desperate at this point. They're like, man, what else can we do? What can we do to take something and make it creepy that people normally wouldn't think about? And somebody and I guess this director years ago made a short film about it, and then brought this back up at a pitch meeting and was like, well, what if, I think like if you were just out alone at your like little pool in the backyard at night, that could be creepy. To his credit, I mean, they're not entirely wrong, but personally, I think all the creepiest moments were in the trailer, but we'll get to the cons in a minute. Again, pros, it's kind of creepy. This film, and a lot of films like this, alright, I gotta sit through an hour-and-a-half long film where they're gonna queue up 40 very easily read jump scares, and even though you know they're coming, they get you, because that's how the human body is meant to react to loud and sudden stimulus, both visual and also especially auditory. So it's not even so much anything that's like going to be legitimately scary, it's just kind of creepy audio, creepy imagery, and then just a bunch of jump scares. So sure, but I mean, yeah, admittedly there was some kind of creepy stuff in the film. It's stuff that I was like, I wouldn't do that if I were there. The acting is fine. The acting overall, like, no complaints. Nobody was poorly I mean, look, did Wyatt Russell and Carrie Condon really give it their all? And award-winning worthy performances? I mean, heavens no. I get it. It's one of those films where it's like, okay, well, we looked the part. Wyatt Russell definitely with the beard looks like he could be a baseball player. It's like, yeah, these actors have got to pay the bills somehow, right? So I get it. But all things considered, they didn't phone in performances necessarily. They did it. They probably had a fun time. The kids, the adults, everybody in this film acted well. There's a creepy grandmother at one point. That was pretty cool. But yeah, character decisions throughout the movie, like, there's some moments where I'm like, why would you do this knowing this, or why is this character still doing that? But there were some characters that once they were scared or scarred or burned by the pool once, to their credit, they didn't mess with that pool anymore. They were like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere near that. Something's going on, I'm peacing out. Effects, I think there was one bit where there's glass in someone's hand. That looked alright. I mean, a lot of it's just people in pools and camera work in pools and looking up from under the waves, so it's all warbly and distorted, and there's, audio lighting effects that are fine. It didn't do anything egregiously bad, so count that a little good for the movie. In terms of the cons of it, I mean, it's very, very generic, formulaic, jump scare, here's a kind of creepy concept stretched out to an hour-and-a-half film that tries to then also blend in this family drama and this, like, dad who's trying to battle his illness and the wife who's trying to hold it all together. It's balanced well enough, I guess. I just didn't particularly care too much about the family or the family drama. They were decent, but they weren't like super likable or lovable, and I wasn't like ingrained in the story. It was just like you know the steps, you know the journey. I mean, the comparison I made, and you can make a lot of different cinematic comparisons, but I just basically said it's like Poltergeist meets Amityville Horror, kind of. I just say Poltergeist because of the pool. Daddy-o. Coming down with the sickness and all that, you're like, oh yeah, it's Amityville Horror right there. In terms of what we actually physically encounter as our characters, you know, battle the creeps of the pool and whatnot, like the whole like theme from the trailer, like the whole polo and all that, like that when that guy shows up, I don't know if I can pull an image of him for the reference for this review. My friend summed it up best. Guy looks like an absolute doofus. Like all the creepy things that are like, you know, the old, scarry, skin-tissued, dangly black hair, they look silly. They're CGI as hell. Maybe I'm wrong. They looked fake as and then even by the end of it, when you go to that like other spirit realm under the pool in the sub world, like basically you go to the sunken place. It's literally the sunken place. And then even down there, like they're not really creepy demonic people. They're all just these spirits that can like just go and just swim unnaturally fast as they're trying to grasp and collect more souls to pull down. They're just like this. I don't know. It's not really. Once you actually see the scares and the danger, you're just like, oh, okay, that's funny, I guess. So far, the movies for the beginning of this year have just been kind of lukewarm. Could be a lot better. I mean, it's in terms of quality, it's better than Founders Day. I would say Founders Day is more entertaining only because it's a worse film. I'm sure there's some people out there that are gonna watch this and be like, oh yeah, that was a nice little scary little thriller right there. But coming as a guy who's seen the cream of the crop and the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I've been spoiled and also desensitized, for me it doesn't even like skim the surface. Like I won't be thinking about this film in like a month from now, I'm sure. I would give Night Swim a low 3 out of 5. A low 3 out of 5. It's below average. Again, it's not like dog poo-poo, but it's below average. Blumhouse hit or miss in terms of like quality of a film. They back some great horses, they back some fun, entertaining horses sometimes, and other times they're just like, I don't know, it feels like they're just filling out their catalog of like horror properties and IPs. Don't waste your time, don't go see it, stream it, sure. Stream it if you want, but you don't need to go see this one. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode or whatever I make, or whatever movie I review. And goodbye, travelers.